Hello everybody, welcome to Nerd Lab. This is the channel where we focus on having fun in Commander, we focus on having fun in Magic the Gathering. And as much as I want to focus on that fun, as much as I want to focus on the positive, sometimes you're across the table from someone who doesn't like to have fun. I call those people party poopers. Now party poopers, they play things like stacks and infect, and I don't like that. So I built a deck around Melira, Sylvok Outcast. We want to shut down those decks, not just for ourselves, but for everyone else at the table that run infect. Here's the thing about Melira, not only is she fun, not only is she shutting down infect, she's actually really good. She combos off really nice with something called persist. So let's get into the deck tech. Sorry, party poopers. Melira, Sylvok Outcast, is a low-to-the-ground commander. She costs 1 and a green for a 2/2 human scout. You can't get poison counters. Creatures you control can't have -1/-1 counters placed on them. And creatures your opponents control lose infect. Melira is the perfect anti-infect deck commander. But how do we win with her? How do we get value? Well, we have to abuse an ability called Persist. Persist says, when this creature is put into a graveyard from play, if it had no -1/-1 counters on it, return it to play under its owner's control with a -1/-1 counter on it. What this means is as long as Melira is out and your creature has Persist, anytime it would be destroyed or sacrificed, it comes back to the battlefield with no -1/-1 counters on it. So, as long as you have a creature with Persist and Melira and any sacrifice outlet, you can sacrifice this creature an infinite amount of times and have it enter the battlefield an infinite amount of times. And this is where we get our value. So let's get to our creatures with Persist. Woodfall Primus, 8 mana, a little steep, but when he enters the battlefield, he destroys target non-creature permanent. That means with him and any sacrifice outlet, you're going to be able to destroy every single non-creature permanent you want. Then we have Ari-Ufis. 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 However you say that. 5 mana, a little cheaper. Sacrifice Ari-Ufis, and he deals damage equal to its power to target creature with flying. Now what's great about him is he is his own sacrifice outlet, which means all you need is some sort of enter the battlefield benefit. Now last we have Lesser Masticore. He only costs 2 mana, but as an addition to cast him, you must discard a card. But where his value really comes in is that 4 mana, deal 1 damage to target creature. That's not great value, but if you have Ashnod's Altar or Phyrexian Altar out, you can create infinite mana and have a complete one-sided board wipe. Dude, this deck has so much stinking value, you almost forget that it completely shuts down infect. But hey, let's take a look at some of those sacrifice outlets and check out the value they bring us. How about Altar of Dementia, Altar of the Brood, Ashnod's Altar, Phyrexian Altar, all the altars. Altar of Dementia and Altar of the Brood let us mill our opponents as a win condition. Ashnod's Altar and Phyrexian Altar give us infinite mana, colored and colorless. Now what are we going to do with all that mana? Genesis Wave's a good card, and so is Green Sun Zenith. But personally, I want to go with Squall Line. X and 2 green, Squall Line deals X damage to each creature with flying and each player. The key to this play is you have to get Essence Warden out first, and you have to gain, I don't know, let's say 2 billion life, and then you can pay 1 billion into X and deal 1 billion damage to each creature with flying and each player. And all of these weird lines of play are available to us because green has so many creature tutors. Think about Whirly Tutor, it just got reprinted. Shared Summons gets us a couple of creatures. And Natural Order will get us a creature onto the battlefield. Now once you've found your Persist creature and your Sacrifice outlet, go find Soul of the Harvest. He reads, whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, you may draw a card. You sacrifice a Persist creature, bring him back, draw a card. Sacrifice a Persist creature, bring him back, draw a card. You can draw as many cards as you want and play any line that you want and have as much fun as you want and never be infected. I'm telling you, this deck has everything. Ramp, card draw, infinite mill, infinite damage. You never ever even have to swing and you're in green. But if you want to swing, you can make your creatures as big as you want and give them vigilance and trample. Melira is just a great deck, and it does one of my favorite things. It utilizes cards that you don't normally see in Commander. You can run all your green staples and it will make it run smoother, but you don't have to. And best of all, it's going to protect you from infect.